this is Prime News. Get right to it.
Robbie Potter has been captured, along with Candace Watson in San Diego, California. In the company of Candace was her daughter Haylee. She was safe, and we're going to be bringing her back to her grandmother here very, very shortly.
So happy to report that little Haylee Donovan is alive and well. The 4-year-old was found 2,300 miles from her home in Ohio, in some retreat in California. She's been missing for a month now and apparently taken by her mom and mom's sex offender boyfriend. Let's not forget here, she was found just a day after a missing child alert was issued. So how much did that help? How were they able to track these three down at this retreat setting? We'll take your calls on this, 1-877-TEL-HLN. Let's welcome in our experts joining us in on the discussion. Defense attorney, former prosecutor Ann Bremner. Also with us, HLN law enforcement analyst Mike Brooks. He's been on this story, and one guy at the heart of this story also joins us, Andrew DeSerto, Assistant Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal. Great to have you all with us. It's great to report little Haley's alive and well. Andrew, I got to start with you. What tip led to finding Haylee, her mom, and Potter here?
Well, thank you, Mike. We received a tip actually yesterday. It was about 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific Time, and a tipster called in to the San Diego County Sheriff's Office through 911 out in California that these three individuals were all at this Christian retreat center in Valley Center. Actually, the tip spawned from a billboard. We had partnered with Clear Channel Communications just Monday this week, and they were able to produce a digital billboard for us with pictures of all three, of Robbie, Candace, and Haylee, pictures of the vehicle, the plate information, the hotline number. They put this up in multiple states. We targeted states where we knew that we had information that they could possibly be, where several tips were coming in. And we targeted those states. These billboards were put up on the highways in those states, and it was the right timing because they got those billboards up within 2 hours, and the tip came in yesterday, one day after those were put up, and that's ultimately what got us there. But you know, like I said before, thanks to all your guys' help in the media, especially CNN with Nancy Gray's show and Jane Velez Mitchell and your show, you guys really put this out there, and really that's what we needed, and we finally got that one tip, and as you can tell, we're pretty happy. Yeah. This was a good result.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks for that. We're just doing our job. I mean, it's just great. Just a sec, Mike. Let me let's hear from Peter Marshall here. This is U.S. Marshal just talking about it, and let's celebrate again the fact that we do way too many of these stories where we don't have an ending like this. This is a happy ending, so let's listen to Peter Marshall.
I cannot compliment the media enough here for getting the message out for us, and I know the Nancy Grace show was out there for us, and the Jane Velez Mitchell show was out there for us, and I appreciate that. We appreciate that because that provided a lot of tips to us and for us. Again, Clear Channel Communications and the community. You know, we received calls from all over this country from concerned people that had no idea where she was, that wanted to provide us information because they cared so much about returning this little child back here safely to the Northern District of Ohio.
Again, that was Peter Elliott. Mike, let's go to Mike Brooks, HLN law enforcement analyst. This just goes to show how important keeping the word out is and tips are, right, Mike?
Absolutely, Mike. And you know what's ironic? It was actually one of these billboards, as Drew was saying, they targeted certain states. And one of those states was Nevada. So here's a recent resident of this Morningstar Ranch where they were staying for about a week. He's driving along. He looks up at the billboard and sees the information. Now, he's a recent resident of the place. He calls to Morningstar Ranch and says, hey, this car, is that the people who've been there about a week, those three? Do they have a truck and their tag number is so-and-so? And he said, sure is. And that's when they called 911 to the San Diego County Sheriff's Office, and they went ahead and put together a team and went out there and locked Candace up and also worked Robbie up and recovered Haylee.
Andrew, was there any incident when the arrest was made? Did Potter fight? Did they try and run? Anything at all like that?
No, actually, it went totally smooth from what I understand. San Diego County Sheriffs did a great job responding. They actually put together a plan, and they went in there, and they were able to get them both in custody and recover Haylee without incident.
Okay, let's talk about little Haylee. How's she doing? Because she's with a Tier 3 sex offender for just about a month. Any signs of abuse or anything? I know that's what the folks want to know.
Well, it's too early to tell right now. I have not received any reports saying that there has been. The San Diego County Children's Services, I believe, has custody of her. They're examining her. That's going to be a little bit of a process. We're waiting to hear some results on that as we speak.
But from what we so far, so good, at least. That's what we're learning so far, Andrew?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, we have some pictures that we received from her, and she looks pretty happy. She's smiling. So.
That's good. That's so good to hear. Let's bring in Dr. Jeff Gardere, clinical psychologist. Jeff, how concerned are you that there might be some mental damage in some sense, some trauma to Haylee? Because how does a 4-year-old process this? What do you think's going on here?
Well, that's an excellent question. As you were talking about whether there might have been some sexual abuse, I'm thinking if there isn't sexual abuse, there certainly is emotional abuse, because the mother appears to be very unstable to begin with, hooking up with this level 3 sex offender, and of course traveling 2,000 miles, being on the lam, being on the run, assuming these identities. All of those things I think is very emotionally taxing on anyone, but especially on a little girl who doesn't really know what's going on. Is this my stepdad? Is this a boyfriend? What's going on? And again, we have to think about, he is a level 3 sex offender. Was there any time she was left alone, sleeping in the same room, sleeping in the same bed? We don't really know.
Yeah, we'd heard that from a former roommate of the mom's, that she'd walked in, I believe the morning that they vanished, that there was Robbie Potter, Candace Watson, and little Haylee all in the same bed together. We hope that there was no abuse involved here. Guys, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to our attorney, Ann Bremner, about what charges mom could face, subjecting her daughter to this, also basically helping a fugitive escape from a halfway house. So we'll take your calls as well. The number 1-877-TEL-HLN.